For a full-fledged year now, I've been telling you guys the job market's so bad, the job market's so bad. Starting to realize it's probably not even the job market, it's these people that are applying and are doing it. Maybe it's just the line of field that I'm in, because my industry, and I tell that everybody, should not exist. People should not need to hire my services to get a job faster. But now I'm going to tell you guys some stories of what's out there, what's happening, and what I'm dealing with, because it is just mind-boggling. And yeah, I don't know if college should have taught them, and if not college, then parents or whoever else it is, somebody must have taught them, because the amount of questions and stuff I get is just out of this world. So check out this comment. And this is absolutely insane. This is from an actual human being that actually makes videos online, and asked Ali, what's the difference between a cover letter and a resume? And this is a true question. And if you do not know the difference of this, I have no idea. I just can't grasp it for words. And then we blame, oh my gosh, companies aren't hiring and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, there might be something there. There might be something there that all these job seekers, they got AI now. They got these AI tools, and I see them all the time. That these AI tools, you can send out like 1,000 resumes a day. It just costs you some money. And this AI tool will go in, take your resume, and I don't know if it even adjusts it, but it just blows it out everywhere. It's just like, here, you get a resume, you get a resume, you get a resume. And it just basically does all that. And then people think like, oh, that's great. So then you get either underqualified or overqualified people, because you're just like, oh, I'm just going to make keywords match. And then it's like, oh, you didn't even check. You were just trying to get 100, 200, points on the exam. So let's look at what somebody wrote in here. And they said, hiring managers who called me very quick from a small no-name brand company said they've gotten tons of resumes, tons. Most were unqualified and some were very overqualified. The amount of resume being sent in versus open positions is beyond the pale, guys. Exactly like 2008, but much more broader now. So I'm telling you, it's not necessarily that. It's just that everybody is now sending out these resumes from AI. So they do these AI tools, and I see them online on TikTok, everywhere. So it looks up, and I talked to somebody that develops one of these, and what they basically do is they keyword match, and then they just kind of send it out. And there's like real good ones, and then there's ones that are just who knows who made them, and then they just go out and crawl the web like a chat bot and just spam your resume wherever it goes. And some people might land a job, yeah, but if you want a six-figure job, if you want to do something great, you can't be doing all this stuff. You can't be using AI to basically just be your scapegoat and say, you know what, I'm just going to AI apply and do all that. There's other ways how you can do it, but it's going to cost time and it's going to cost effort. Nothing's free. And so it is absolutely crazy. When I'm looking at all these people being let go, all of these people that are in the federal government that might need a job, that are going to try to actively join the private sector, it's going to make it even harder for people that actually have a job or that are in the private sector that have been doing it, because now you're going to compete with even more people. And the more people you compete with, the easier, or the company's going to be like, we can make the interview process harder because we are now the ones with the money and we can do whatever. And so the tide has turned from a job seeker market to an employer market. Now, is that good? Probably not. But it was just a time coming, right? Because everything that we're in as humans goes in cycles, right? Election cycle, hiring cycles, and your life, it goes up in cycles, right? And the funny part is when I talk to you guys, and I see some of you guys in my comment section are so bloody smart. And then I talk to these people that are seeking jobs, and they are just the absolute craziest people. And I love them because they actually know that they got flaws and that they need help. But some of them that I turned down and said, you know what, I can't help you. And one of them is that I've messaged him and I have conversations with him, and they say, oh, I can't I can't afford to pay, I think what it was, like $49. I can't pay $49 for an interview prep. I said, good, then don't. And says like, yeah, I got this in the bag. Comments like this shows up. I didn't get it. I got messed up on the interview. I was like, well, you should have taken that and we could have worked on it. But hey, no shame off my back. I don't need you. I don't need your $49. But guess what? You need a job. Oh no, hold on. You're still living with your mom, right? So it is absolutely insane when you think about all these things. And then I think like, oh my gosh, doing all this stuff and I gotta move back in with my parents. It's like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like if you're with common sense and you're like, hey, maybe I shouldn't go finance this super expensive car just because I got a bonus this year. Because maybe I'm not gonna get that next year. Maybe I'm gonna get laid off. And put a little doubt in your head and be like, maybe I should get a mediocre car and not the nicest luxury brand that you can get. Because tides change. The market moves in cycles. So does jobs, so do industries, right? And it's always funny when I talk to people and they said years ago, I'm good, I got a federal job. If I had more time, actually, I would go and filter all these comments and I would ping all of them and I would message all of these people that a year ago said, I'm good, I got a federal job, I'm so good, I'm never gonna lose my job, shame on you, laughed at me, disliked, did all this. Now I'd actually want to go back and say, how did this age? How did all this age? How are you doing? I hope you're not one of these being let go. But guess what? It's always these loudmouths. It's always these people that say, haha, it's not gonna be me, and then they just wait and then it comes. What comes around goes around, right? See, that's why I'm always like, I wouldn't laugh yet because you never know when you're next, right? So just be cautious, be courteous, and try to help out. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be hitting on and, like, haha, laughing at people. I always say, maybe next time. Or, hey, hopefully this works out to you. Because what comes around goes around. What you put out there will come back. And that's why I'm trying to, spew positivity, give you insights, and trying to do all that so you can make informed decisions and better your life for, whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to get a bigger house, and if you're trying to get a bigger car, if you're trying to retire. So I'm just giving you the insights of where things are. And people say, oh, you really gotta do it. You just gotta go out and do it, and then worry about the consequences later. That's the American way of thinking. That is like what gets you in trouble down the road, where I see these people in the car dealership getting raped for 29% interest, and I love what I drive. I love it. And then you see the repo lot stacked to the moon with cars that they couldn't afford in the first place. So you just got to be really aware of where you put your money, what you put your money in, and how you're spending it. Because if you're spending your money the wrong way, then you want to spend it on something that's actually going to help you, it's going to cost you really, really well. And some of these people, I would say, man, my services isn't going to be enough. You need counseling. You need like psychiatric counseling. Like literally, you need somebody to come in and work on your past trauma or what you had, and stop blaming whoever, politicians, investors, and stop saying, I haven't had a job because the establishment is out to get me. And somebody said that. And I would say, because we hold these mock interviews, right? So if you join the Ali's program, we hold these mock interviews. If you're like ready for an interview, we're like, hey, let's do a mock interview. It's like the most common asked questions. We'll record it, and then you can look at it yourself and see, where you scale, where you land, and so you can get some feedback. Because when you record yourself doing something, you can see, hey, I can improve here, I can improve there. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And so somebody literally told me with a straight face that the establishment is out to get him. And I was like, what? Can you elaborate? He's like, yeah, they just don't want, and I think he said, they just don't want Polish first generations Americans to succeed in America. And I said, what are you even talking about? He's like, yeah, in the interview, they looked at me funny. And I said, how did you do that? Well, I don't know. I just felt like they looked at me funny. And it's like, you look like everybody else. What are you talking about? Well, they just really wanted to come and get me. And then they start asking me hard questions. And like they're just trying to gauge. They're just trying to see where where are you at. You can also ask them hard questions, but you got to phrase them in a correct and good way, right? You can't just go out there and be like, so what is your HR policy on sexual harassment? You can't go out and ask that, right? Because then they're going to be like, what is this question, right? But when you have the power, right? When you have the knowledge, and then they're like, hey, this is a good match, you can then dance around it and you can make it fun. You can make it like ping pong, right? Where, hey, they'll ask a few questions, you ask them a few questions, and it doesn't have to be so one-sided. But when you're sweating behind your camera because they know you need this, and there's been other people that have been saying the exact same thing. Once you're sweating like a roast because you need this opportunity and you think about every option, like every question 4 times because you know you can't say the wrong thing, it's going to end badly. And yeah, I've seen it. And I've actually been there where I needed something to be so bad that it just didn't work out. And the same thing is when we did sales, right? So when we did sales calls and you kind of beg for the sale, it turns you off, right? It just does. When you're at a car dealership and they just constantly harass you and beg you to take it, what are you going to do? You're going to walk away and be like, whoa, what desperate people, right? But all of a sudden, when you start to play the game, say, I don't know if I need this. And all of a sudden, not in a condescending way, right? But in a way of like, a fun of trying to have conversations, try to build a network or something else. All of a sudden, you might be where they say, hey, oh, sell you a car. Oh, what do you do? I do sales training. No shit, you should come, talk to us and we'll hire you to do stuff. And all of a sudden you build these connections, right? Every interaction can be your next opportunity, but you need to capitalize on it. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people are so afraid, they're so stuck, and they're so stuck of putting themselves out there. I don't post on social media. Why not? Well, I don't like this or I don't like this. And I don't like the platform or this, they get my data. Well, they got your data anyways. That's why Facebook and all these other places will just kind of sift through your ads and show you what you've been looking for. So why don't you take charge and tell your own story? That's what I'm doing. And I tell my own story. I tell you what I'm seeing, and you can disagree with a thumbs up or you can disagree. And then that leaves it up to whoever's watching to see, this really resonates me or this doesn't. And then all of a sudden you get some of the most amazing interactions with people you've never met and you've never interacted before. And I think it's something beautiful. I think it's something that a lot more people should do, of just vlogging, going on walks, being outdoors, sharing their side of things, of the world, of how they see it and what they think. Because the more people that go out there and share their prospects, share their life lessons, and just telling you their side of the story, it just makes for a more diverse field. And that space, I do love diversity. I do love diverse thoughts. I do love diverse people. But I don't like it when you push it down people's throats and say, this is the new way that we got to do things. And then you don't hire the best person. You just hire a person based off of something. And yeah, so for me, it's always try to be the best at it. Just try to do it over and over and over. Just repeat, change something about it, do something better, learn a little bit, change one thing here, change one thing there, start posting, start inspiring, start making videos, start saying, hey, I'm going to start my own YouTube channel. I'm going to start my own community. I'm going to start my own gig. I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to do that. And all of a sudden, you're like, this isn't so bad after all. And you're going to get hate. You're going to get cool stuff. If you go viral, they'll post with you on Reddit. And this happened to me too, positive and negative, where they go on Reddit and they start talking about, oh my gosh, this is so outdated views. And then they email you, I unsubscribe because your views on this. And I said, hey, this is just a market. I'm not making the market. And then they get all pissy about it because they want me to take a stance. And I say, I can't. I don't have the power to influence Elon Musk. I don't have the power to influence Trump. Nor do I have the power to influence Joe Biden or the Democratic Party or any party in general. I probably don't even have enough power to influence my HOA with 18 houses. So you guys want me to? Yeah, I got an email. I can't. If I find it, I can put up here, but I'm pretty sure I don't have it anymore. Where somebody wrote me in real pissy and said, you know, you should have really taken a stance on this, and I expected better from your channel, and blah 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 blah. I said, I'm sorry, I just don't. And I respond. I said, I can't. I just don't. I just don't know. There's nothing I can do to change the market. There's nothing I can say or do to make the federal government do nothing. I'm not an elected official. I'm a small creator on YouTube that just goes on walks. So I get some exercise in behind sitting at a desk. And yeah, with those many views, yeah, there's nothing you can do. And this is what I love about vlogging, because I know where my limits are. I know where I can't, what I can and can't do. And I feel like a bunch of these people that are in my job search field do know, and a lot of them do not know where the limitations are. And then they go out and they get obliterated in the interview, and then they come out, and then they're like, "Oh, this happened," and it's like, "Why are you even telling me this?" And then then they go on and be like, "Oh, it wasn't fair." No, you didn't practice. You didn't prepare. You didn't practice. And yeah, this is your thing. You could have had a job a long time ago. You just didn't listen. You were not aware enough to know, like, hey, maybe I should do some research. Maybe I should do this better. Or maybe I should do this. And if you can't, then I'm sorry. And so I'm wrapping this video up. It was really nice chatting with you guys. It has rained yesterday like crazy. So I was like, maybe I'll stay in. Maybe I'll go live later on or tomorrow or so. So let me know, because life's short. Make the best of it. Be your captain of your own boat. Don't run it on just let it cruise wherever you think it's gonna go. Take control, take charge, and yeah, hopefully you do this. And yeah, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe. 80% of you guys are not subscribed, so do that right now, and I will see you in the next one.